Ah, the nerd fighters!
Every year, millions of people make a promise to themselves that once the clock strikes 12 on New Year's Eve, they will become a different person. They are born anew, baptized by the arbitrary date marker. There is no reason that the new year is when it is. There is no point in the Earth's elliptical rotation that suggests that there's a beginning or end to the cycle. One day someone arbitrarily decided to begin again somewhere after the winter equinox, but nowhere actually near it. So every year we make our New Year's resolutions again in earnest. Despite most of us having abandoned our 2015 hopes somewhere around week 2 of January, we'll make them again and claim that 2016 will be better. Starting over doesn't have to happen on January 1st. But there's nothing wrong with it or you if it does. If you want to mark your progress from the new year, then who am I to judge? You'll have plenty of company around you to support you if you need it. Go ahead, you join that gym with your friends. So I want to bring you stories of people who started off from scratch. People who just woke up one day and decided, I want to change my life. There are so many stories of this actor, that actor, or this inventor, or this Facebook CEO who just one day decided, I'm gonna fulfill this big idea. There's a movie in theaters right now called Joy, which is very good, by the way. That's a story of a woman who just decided one day to pursue an idea that she had one day. Kazuo Ono was born on October 27, 1906. Before the war, he was a teacher, and when he was drafted, he became a lieutenant. After coming home, he pursued a long-time dream of his to become a professional dancer. He became a figure in the art world and danced a style called Buto. He was 43 when he presented his first solo work in 1949. Ang Lee was born on October 23, 1954. His first film debuted in Taiwan when he was 48 years old. He went to film school but afterwards was unable to find work, and so he spent 6 years as a house husband being supported by his wife, the successful molecular biologist. With her support, he eventually did succeed. You may know him from movies such as Sense and Sensibility and The Hulk. It goes to show that perseverance is important and success is sometimes delayed. Every day people decide to change their lives. Sure, we can narrow down to the simple choosing of turning right or turning left, but there are big decisions being made every single day. When a person decides to emigrate, they decide to leave everything they've ever known behind and move to a completely different country and often a different culture. When an LGBTQIA+ person decides to come out as their authentic self, that is a risky and important decision that they make, and people make it every day. And that's inspiring, and that's a new beginning in and of itself. And now for a story that I think each and every single one of us can relate to. Depending on where you live, in 11th or 12th grade, you decide what you are going to do for the rest of your life. You decide where you're going to go to college, if you're going to go to college, if you have the opportunity to. You could decide your future at 17 or 18 years old. Some people actually have to decide a little earlier because they have to decide if they're going to take AP classes, or they're going to go take the high math, or they're going to do the sciences. That's a lot of pressure that we put on today's youth. We have to decide how our lives are going to turn out right away. And when you make that decision, when you apply to university, when you don't apply to a university, when you get that job, that's you deciding, holy crud, this is my future. And I can relate to that because, man, did I pick the wrong path. I graduated high school when I was 17, and where I'm from, you go to CJEP, which is basically kind of like pre-college. You go for 2 or 3 years. And I decided that I was going to do the safe route, I was going to get a good job, so I needed to be in the sciences. And I studied, and I worked, and I finished my degree in 2 years, and then I applied to university. And I hated it. I knew I hated it. I did not have a good time during those 2 years. I hated myself, I hated the work I was doing, I was miserable. And I was like, no, university's gonna be different. It's the same subject matter, but somehow it will be different. And I convinced myself of that because I wanted to get a good job, I wanted to be able to support myself, I wanted to pay back my parents for everything they'd given me. So I went to university and I went into mechanical engineering, and I did not do well. It was a mess because I was miserable and I hated it, and I met so many amazing people who really enjoyed it and wanted to be there, and I couldn't understand why I wasn't one of them. I couldn't understand why this community wasn't enough. And so I left school and I spent a year figuring out my life. I figured out what I really wanted, and I sort of just let go of this idea that I had for my future. I decided that I want to be a filmmaker, and yeah, it's a long shot. It's something you have to work for your entire life, and it's like a 1 in a million shot, but that is what I wanted to be doing. And as soon as I started, as soon as I put the work in and just started making things, I was so much happier, and I was spending hours and hours a day learning and figuring out what I needed to know to be good at my craft. I emailed a bunch of production houses in my area and I was just like, hey, need any interns? So I got the job. It was an unpaid internship and it's one of the best experiences that I've ever had because I learned so much. And now I'm starting over. I'm applying to film school at 22, which it's not old, it's just I'm older than most. That's the only promise that I can make to myself, that I'm going to try my hardest. And that's my new beginning. And I hope that if you are in a similar position where you're stressing out about what you want to do or what you want to be, I hope that you'll pick something that makes you happy. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Fictionalized Me. I'm Sierra. I want to hear about your New Year's resolutions. Whether you're going to keep them or not, that doesn't matter, but I want to know. And Kat, I'll see you tomorrow.